Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and I am here today to do some Monday afternoon Woodpecker method training. Welcome Jan to the stream. Glad you are here and ready to train as well. We're gonna just continue with the Woodpecker grind. I think the upcoming tournament for me will be in around 20 days. There's a UK Blitz qualifier, so I'm planning to play in this. And fingers crossed, I might even get in a classical event in October. So with all of this in mind, I want to keep up the training. Also, league matches are going to start pretty soon. We're gonna keep it going. I've recovered from the exhaustion of yesterday's long commentary grind. I forget how tiring these things are. But okay, all good stamina building for chess solving. So yeah, I know. I don't know why I even suggested that, Jan, you were gonna train, but we can dream, right? We can hope. Okay, let's get right into it. So this tab, Woodpecker method, intermediate exercises. Okay. I'm halfway through an apple, so I'll be finishing this for this exercise. But okay, yeah, let's just begin. So we've got Queen, Rook, Knight, Bishop against Queen, Rook, Bishop, Bishop. We've got 4-6 against 5, so we are a pawn up. They have Bishop pair though. So what is there to note about this position? My king is on the line of the bishop. The queen is kind of eyeing this up, but the pawns are doing a decent job of keeping the enemy pieces out. The white king is a little bit vulnerable. I've got this diagonal, but doesn't look like there's an immediate knockout blow. One idea I'm suddenly looking at is can I play Queen takes b2 with the idea of giving this check? Could be very possible. But yeah, with all of this in mind, is there anything else to add? Any loose pieces? Okay, the rook is loose. The bishop on c2 is loose. This square is vulnerable, but the bishop is controlling it. So okay, let's consider all of our options. So checks, we've got rook d2. Captures, we've got capture here. Maybe capture here. And threats, what about threats? How can we bring in the pieces? Maybe queen e7 to come this way, maybe queen d7 to come this way. But let's start with calculating queen b2, because this was the instinct. If bishop takes, I really think this looks strong, right? Because if the queen blocks here, we can take him and take the bishop at the very least. Probably there's even more. So queen b2, they cannot take us. And if they can't take us, we are threatening the bishop. The bishop is also pinned. So what can white even play? What if they play like queen f2? Well, I guess I could take on c1. If they take on f3, then I can take on c2. And I should be up material. Okay, they can block rook e2. I can come down rook d2. So it looks really promising. What if they throw in a check? Well, then I just take it. They take my queen. I still give this check. And I'm going to pick up c2. They cannot sack over here because there's this pin. Any last-ditch resources? No, I don't think so. So I think this is very strong. And we win. In the game, rook e2 limited the loss to a second pawn. Aha, rook e2 is actually a way to defend. I didn't see that. Even that was too much. So yeah, black was up by a pawn in the starting position, and after rook e2, black is 2 pawns up. But yeah, I guess if the white rook has to retreat and black's just gained a pawn, yeah, definitely a good move. Hello Faz. G5 is instinct. Interesting. And I remember you saying about these queen sacks always escaping you. Yeah, even before reading this comment, it crossed my mind. Yeah, G5. I wouldn't like that just because it feels like it weakens my king. I know you're happy to weaken your king, but yeah, no, queen b2 definitely the way. Also, Jan says you didn't read chat yesterday, by the way. I mean, I tried to, but there were just so many messages. It was just hard to keep up. Okay, white to play. Okay, so we've got rook, 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 knight, knight, bishop, bishop. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 against 4. They have a majority on the king side. Our double pawns aren't looking so great. What else is there to note? We've got pressure on this bishop. That's defended twice. This rook is loose. This rook is loose. We've got a light squared bishop. Okay, so what ideas do we have here? Let's begin with our checks then. So checks, we've got rook e7. We've got rook takes f6. Captures. We've got this capture. Threats, maybe we could bring the bishop in. I mean, it looks very dodgy, but maybe we can. Okay, so let's start there, I guess. I don't really see anything else. So what about this rook takes f6? If the king were to take, we could take on e8. And probably this is a favorable exchange. I mean, the closer we get to an endgame, the less confident I am with the knight and bishop, but it looks decent. So if rook f6 and pawn f6, then I guess we could go bishop d5 check. And if king f8 to keep defending this bishop, do we have some kind of follow-up here? Knight check looks decent because wherever the king moves, there will be a discovery. And in fairness, the knight can jump to here and hit this rook. So that does look promising if pawn takes, like bishop d5. Because any other move, we can take the bishop. And if king f8, I really think this is strong. I guess what if they play like king e7 and we go knight e5 check and they go king d6 attacking our bishop? I guess we can take their rook, they take our bishop, we take their bishop, and we're a piece up. So I think this looks to be winning. Or like at least better, right? With this imbalance. I mean, let's just double check there's nothing like even more winning. Like this rook e7. Doesn't look like it. Bishop d5, knight takes. I mean, it looks like a big trade, and I don't think we're doing particularly well. So I think it must be rook f6. Okay, king takes, and we just take here. This is what I was thinking. But now I'm wondering, okay, is there anything even better? Like this check? No, they just go back. Yeah, I think we just take this. Okay, and if g takes f6, bishop d5, knight e6, and knight d4. Yeah, this is what I was looking at. So I thought here king e7 was critical, but yeah, this is exactly the line I saw where we're a piece up. Okay, yeah, very nice. Okay, welcome Zane and welcome JJ. Could JJ be Jude, by the way? Because you see, I haven't seen JJ here before. And also Zane, are you new as well? Well, welcome to the stream. I think rook takes e1. Where is rook takes e1? Is this did you mean like rook takes e8 or something? Or was that on the previous exercise? Maybe it was the previous one. Knight d5 is very sus. I guess it makes sense, like to try and you know, encourage the trade and get the bishop on the line of a king, but it also feels a little bit slow. I mean, there's also knight d5, rook takes g2, king takes g2, and knight takes d5. Like, this looks like it's very good for black, actually. And okay, we have Tricky coming onto the stream. So Tricky, I want to say to you, and I'll keep this short because I want to focus on the training, but I have given you so many chances on this channel to kind of change your attitude, and it always comes back to the same old. Like, and I'm basically sick of it. And yeah, unfortunately, until I have a change of heart, that's not going to happen. So I think, to be honest, give it a few months, and then maybe I'll see if I change my mind. But probably that's not going to happen, and at least until a few months later. And if you just keep coming back on alt accounts, I mean, your chances of coming back on this channel properly is even less likely. So basically, you know, clean up your attitude. If you want to be on this channel, then we're here to train chess. We're here to, you know, try and improve. And if you're just writing demoralizing comments that nobody wants to see, I don't want to see, nobody else wants to see it. Maybe your friends might, but definitely not me. So yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna have to stay unbanned. So yeah, I'll have to wait. How do I do this again? Oh yeah, hide user from channel. Yep, and that's just gonna be how it is. So you know, if you're on this channel, come here to train chess. That's what this channel's all about. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, so white to play, Smyslov. You've got rook, bishop, knight against rook, bishop, knight. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're a pawn up. This rook is loose, this king is in the corner. This bishop is supported, the rook is protected. This rook is loose. This king is exposed. This knight is looking very strong. What else is there to know? We've got this passed pawn. Okay, and my instinct in this position would be to try and bring in the rook. Like, rook b1 would be very tragic, though, because the bishop takes b1. But this is, like, my feeling. Like, if we could get a rook combined with this knight, this looks very good. But okay, let's consider then some candidate moves. Okay, so what checks do we have? We don't have any checks. What captures do we have? We've got taking on h7, we've got taking on e5. And what threats do we have? I guess we could push d5. Maybe we can try and threaten promotion. Maybe we can indeed bring in the rook. Maybe sacking the rook is completely fine. So okay, let's consider these options. So let's start with the captures then. Knight h7 makes no sense. King takes and we haven't improved the position. Pawn takes e5 hits the rook. And we do gain a pawn. So if they take the pawn, is there any drawback to this? Like maybe we can start pushing this passed pawn. Although our bishop is attacked, I mean, it doesn't look ideal. So I think we'll leave that at the back of our mind for now, and maybe we'll come back to it. What about our threats in this position? What happens if we push c7? So c7 we're threatening to promote. The most obvious move is to take. And maybe there we can play rook c1. Right? We put the rook on a dark square, we're attacking the knight. If the knight were to move, I guess we still don't have rook c8 because the bishop is still covering it. So it's a nice idea, but maybe not quite working. What about rook b1? Just sacrificing the rook? Does this help our case? I don't think so. Okay, what about d5? Because then maybe we block off the bishop in a way that's useful, right? So if they take, now the bishop's not on this line. I wonder if that could be it, you know, like push d5, get them to take, push c7, get them to take, and then rook c1. Because then if a knight had to move, then we would have rook c8 leading to checkmate. Does it even lead to checkmate, though? That's the issue. I mean, like, what if they just move back to e6, and we just go, like, rook c8 check, and they go king g7? We can go, like, rook g8, but king f7, and... yeah, I'm really unsure of, like, the position there. So, were there any other candidate moves that I've forgotten about? Yeah, I don't know. So I guess if this back rank idea to try and go for checkmate isn't even working, maybe I need to focus on the passed pawn. How can I get the passed pawn moving? I also feel like this rook is somewhat vulnerable. Maybe I should consider moves like this. Knight d7 maybe. Come on. I mean, this is like a position I could reach in a game where I'm trying to make use of my assets, so I really need to find this. What about we come back to this taking on e5? Because taking on e5, if they take with a knight, we do get one step closer to trying to get this pawn forward. What is the way? It was the way to do this. Like, you'd hope that after analyzing your different candidates, you kind of come to some new conclusions. I'm suddenly realizing, what about h5 as an idea? Could we try and weaken the king this way? But the problem with this, it's, you know, this g5 pawn looks weak. So what about if we take and then play h5? I mean, is this remotely working? I mean, there's rook e2 or knight e2. It just doesn't feel like it's enough. And yeah, when I said that, like, I might get this kind of position, actually, I think it's nonsense. Like, this position is way too loose. Like, what the hell is this position? I guess I could do it the other way around. Push c7 first, encourage knight takes, and then take on e5. I don't exactly know what we've achieved there. Oh my god, is the rook trapped? It's almost trapped. I guess now that the knight has moved, it's suddenly got these three squares, but other than that, it's actually trapped. So now I'm thinking the rook trap must be the idea here. I guess the rook can go backwards, so... How on earth do we make the rook trap work? I need to take this while it's defended. Oh, it's not even tracked. There's rook a5. Never mind. We're running out of time as well. What would I play in the game in this position? I mean, maybe that's the question I should ask myself more often when doing these puzzles. But I mean, they've got threats as well. Like, they're threatening to take here. I mean, we really need to deal with this. I mean, the only way that seems reasonable is to push, but then they can even take with check. So maybe it is this e4 idea. I mean, that at least avoids them taking us with check. And probably the bishop is more useful than the knight if they were to trade. Yeah, I'm really running out of time. I think let's play this way and then put the rook on c1 or something. So I'm happy that this is correct, but it was kind of out of necessity due to black's threats on us. I didn't really see why. I mean, I do like the bishop in this endgame, but it would be nice to have something a little bit more concrete. I have no idea. Because at the same time, I mean, like, you know, let's say I just trade and put a rook on c1. I mean, they can blockade on c7, and it's on the dark square, and it's very hard to displace. I mean, it could be this idea of c7 again, but knight takes and rook c1. I really don't see how this wins after knight back to e6. We give a check. They come here. I mean, it looks somewhat promising, but I don't see the knockout. I feel like it's probably combining two ideas that I've seen maybe, but I really can't add them together. I'm starting to think maybe bishop d3 is the way. Like, try and cover this b1 square. If they trade, then I can kind of bring my king up and go after this pawn, and then maybe with these pieces have enough to be winning. But I mean, bishop d3, they can take, and then rook c5. What am I missing? Oh my god, the whole time my rook is attacked as well. Jesus Christ, so there's no bishop d3, I'm literally hanging a rook. I mean, I saw this like at the start, and then I completely forgot. So, okay, what are my candidate moves? Like, I'm not calculating this cleanly whatsoever. So, I have no checks. I have two captures, one of which loses my rook. So, I've got one capture. And then what about threats? I mean, I can move my rook. I have to move my rook to save it, or I need to deal with it in some way. So rook c1 is possible. I mean, rook c1 at least deals with the idea of trying to get behind it. And we keep these pieces on, so if, let's say, rook c1, knight c7, maybe I can still try and displace that knight. Maybe I could play rook c1, knight c7, bishop d3 now. Now that the c5 square is covered. And if I can provoke this trade, then I'm probably picking up e5, and then I think I have decent chances to grind that out. The only alternative is trading immediately, but I really don't see a knockout after that. I feel like rook c1 is my best try. What about if I try and get to b7 to give checkmate like this, rather than attack on the back rank? So what if I take and then play rook b1 with the idea of this? Can this be stopped? Rook b1. Maybe this rook is really awkwardly placed. I guess they could play knight c5. But then I can push c7. Ah, so maybe that's... Oh, what am I talking about? I've lost the knight. Oh, this is so tragic. I mean, I'm literally calculating this and then calculating lines with the knight still on f6. Just absolutely cooked. Oh, man. Absolutely cooked. Rook c1 is literally my best try then. Yeah, I really don't know. Alternative, okay. Well, I mean, at least it's an alternative. But that's so surprising to me that there can even be alternatives here. Like, surely there must be one correct line. I mean, it must be this then. It just takes on e4 and he just leaves it there. Like, what is this? By forcing black's rook to an unpleasant square while keeping the king away from checks, white has made the c-pawn a winner. Most moves win, along with Smyslov's rook b3. Now, why was I not so satisfied with this position? I remember looking at rook c1 with knight c7 blocking, but rook b1, what's the big deal? Okay, let's say rook e3 to try and come to c3. You can give a check, and bishop c4. I guess the pawn is just winning, but I don't know why I didn't have that vision to... I don't know, it feels like the pawn is still controlled by this knight. So how do you, like... Let me examine this position. Like, what other tries can we have? What about, like, rook e5 with rook c5? As an idea. Okay, rook b8. Bishop c4 again. Bishop c4 is nice, but I don't find that easy to spot. And let's say knight c7. Oh, there's even checkmate. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I did not see bishop c4 and rook g8 as a motif. That's good to have seen. Okay, what if knight c7 first? Or is it going to be the same? Oh, rook b8, but now rook e8 to defend. Actually, get rid of this rook. Probably you need to, like, recycle your bishop at some point. What's wrong with bishop e2? Wow, knight e6 and suddenly it's game. I mean, it's a game. I don't like this puzzle. I mean, maybe it's just realistic to how it actually is to convert these positions. But let's see how bad my my move was. So e4 here, out of necessity. And then my plan was just rook c1. Okay. Oh yeah, it was an alternative, right? So this is still good. Yeah, I felt like this was the best chance. But I guess now, you know, we end up having to transpose back into this line anyway. And this is probably a worse version with my rook on c1 and the knight already on c7. Yeah, I don't know. This one was tough. This one was tough for me. Did the audio just cut? Let me double check. No, looks like it's fine on my side, Faz. So you might want to check that. So let's see how people got on. Yeah, I was stuck on this one for a long time. So let's have a look. So e4 gut instinct from Faz. Good job. e4, bishop e4, knight e4, rook e4, bishop c4 with rook b1 next board b. That's crazy. You see all of this. What kind of like inspires the rook b1 bishop c4? Like, were you guys seeing this mating net with bishop c4 and this checkmate? Because I was nowhere near even considering this. Okay, welcome Hawker and welcome the geographical term. Hope you guys are doing well. And Rohan, I am on the medium section. So yeah, it's quite late on in these intermediate puzzles. Yeah, this one I definitely don't think is easy, but... and some of you are finding this idea to take on a7. Yeah, I didn't consider this as well. That's probably quite good. The video is delayed. Weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I can do about that. I don't think Streamlabs has told me there's been any cuts or anything, so... Yeah, that was the idea. Wild. This bishop c4. Did not see this at all. Yeah, okay, good to see. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, first thing you spot is the diamond, because you don't see those every day. We have queen, rook, rook against queen, rook, rook. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5. Black to play. Okay, this is my instinct to take this and just grab a pawn with check. I mean, probably we're quite happy to go up a pawn, but having said that, I mean, after rook g3, they can take on a5. Like, they're not obliged to just take on g3. So, okay, let's do a proper evaluation. Loose, loose, loose. Rook's on a battery. King feels a little bit weak. Way weaker than our king. So, okay, rook g3 is one candidate. Any checks? No. Any more captures? This is trash. Any threats? I guess this threatens the rook. This would lose a rook. Maybe a4 with this kind of stuff, but a4 they can always take with the queen. So, okay, rook takes. If they were to avoid it with something like this, do we have a nice follow-up? Probably we bring the other rook in, like this, and we're threatening h3, then that looks very strong. Yeah, in that case, I'm very, very happy with this. Yeah, and of course they just play the simple line that gives us a position. Oh wow, and queen takes a5 is even queen h4. I should probably see that. I mean, I think rook c3 is good enough. So if we see a line that's good enough, that's probably fine. Rook c3, -3 in the position. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not as clear. I probably should find queen h4. I mean, if I did find queen h4, I should evaluate this queen e5 check. So let me do that now. If queen e5 check, probably I just go king h6, and there's no follow-up there, and they really can't stop this. Yeah, queen h4, queen e5, king h6. Oh, but it is a bit tricky after king h1 because we can't, we can't take with the queen because then we get hit by rook h2. So we have to be a bit careful about this. Check. Check. How do we actually win this? We check here. Black to play. How do we win this? Oh, probably rook check actually is the way. Forcing king g2. Queen h3. King f2. Oh, you can't get rid of arrows that way. King f2. Give a check here and then give a mate. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay. Oh my god, what did I just do? Did I just blunder? Oh my god, I'm so trash at giving these mating nets. It's unbelievable. Wait, okay. Let me calculate this properly. I know this is like probably like, beginner level, but it's still a chore for me. So rook h1, king g2 forced, queen h3, king f2 forced, rook h2, king g1 forced. Then queen g3, king f1, queen f3, king g1, rook h1, or queen h1 is winning. Okay, yeah, that's not not simple for me, even though it probably should be. So check here and check here, and then we can check either way. Jesus Christ. King g8, not king h6. King g8, is that really safer? I mean, I felt like king h6 was my safer instinct, but maybe king g8 is even just simpler. Let's go back and look. So queen h4, queen e5. Yeah, I don't know why I felt king h6. I mean, it was just like my first instinct, and as soon as I saw that there was no way that they could attack, I mean, I just went for it, but maybe it's just not as safe. I mean, then I'm always having to worry about this checkmate, right? If they find a way to distract my rook. So maybe this is better. I guess I just feel nervous about putting the king on the back rank. So maybe king h7 makes the most sense? I don't know. They're all winning. What is Woodpecker method? Woodpecker is a book that is moved onto Chessable, which basically suggests you solving tactics in some kind of spaced repetition and cycles. But for me, I'm just solving it just as puzzles because I find it's a good level for me to practice my calculation, and you guys are welcome to join in and calculate as well. So, okay, we got this one mostly correct. I mean, a slightly worse follow-up on this queen takes a5, but at least we're spotting queen takes a5, which is good. And rook cc3 is still winning. Okay, let's do another. Okay, so we've got queen rook rook knight against queen rook rook bishop. We've got 4-6. We've got 6. Okay. So actually Smysl is going to lose this position probably. What is there to note? Okay, their queen is x-raying our king, their bishop is x-raying g7. The rooks are on a battery, so this all looks quite troublesome. Their king also looks quite weak though. I mean, maybe some potential to slide in. Okay, we should not lose the queen though. This bishop is loose, this queen is loose. Actually, only our queen is loose. Our king is on a light square, but we've only got a dark square bishop. We've got a knight near their king. Okay, so based on all of this, what ideas do we have to disrupt the defense, bring in an attacker, and look at our checks, captures, threats? So what checks do we have? We have queen takes e2. And there's nothing. We have, what captures do we have? We have knight f4, we have rook takes d3. not convinced by these moves, but okay, for now we should just be looking at candidates anyway. What about threats in this position? Oh, what about like queen e3? That's a pretty big threat because we're threatening checkmate, and if the rook takes, then we've got rook takes here. King g2, and is this checkmate? It is. Wow. Then queen e3 is looking really nice. Queen e3, what can they do in response? If they threaten mate, it's too slow. If they give a check here, we can take back, and they still can't take us. And we're going to be up material. So queen e3. What about bishop here? I mean, we could probably just take this bishop. And we still can't take our queen. If they take our rook, then we give checkmate. So I think queen e3 looks really good. Okay, they can run. That's actually something I didn't consider. But now, I mean, surely we've improved our attacking chances. So there should be some kind of follow-up here. But yeah, probably should have seen this as a candidate for my opponent. Yeah, what is the follow-up? So rook takes d3. They can take back in multiple ways, just not with the pawn, but it seems okay. What checks do we have? We've got queen f2, queen g1. They are threatening our queen now, so we do need to do something about it. So okay, if queen f2 and they go king d2. I really don't see the follow-up, actually. Because if rook takes rook, then just queen takes rook, and I don't see the idea. Knight f2 is not working. They take our queen, and when we take their rook, they take our knight. So what could the follow-up be? Queen g1, again, king d2. Really don't see it. Really don't see it. I mean, I almost want to try and play this so that I can bring the knight in on f2, but the problem is my queen is attacked when they move the king. Yeah, this move is actually very annoying. What about queen f2, king d2, and then just rook e8? Because I'm threatening to take on e2. And if they take on d8, maybe I can even throw this in first. I don't know if I actually want to do that. Because then the king will run. And maybe I'm in trouble there. So queen f2, king d2, rook e8. Then if they take, then I must take back. And if I move like king c1. King c1, I can probably play queen e3 check. And then king c2, queen takes e2 and pick up the rook. So that looks good. So queen f2 and then just rook e8. I haven't seen a solution for my opponent yet. What if he just runs? Oh, actually running is very uncomfortable because I can't even take here because they take here. Rook e8 and they just run. I don't know. What am I missing here? My queen is literally attacked. I need to do something about it. We're equal in material at the start. Ah, what about queen f2 and use the other rook then? If that's such a big problem. So in that case, if they were to run, then we can simply take the pawn, which is probably good. And if they defend with rook e1, I don't know. I mean, it's got to be queen f2, right? I mean, literally queen g1, king d2, my queen is attacked, and that looks so uncomfortable. And I really don't see any other candidates here. Like, did I literally just miss a candidate? I mean, queen d2, I lose my queen. I don't have any other mate ideas. I mean, it has to be queen f2. It's not. It's queen g1. Okay, let me see who's got queen g1. Okay, Bob B said queen f2, rook e8 is enough, but didn't specify which rook. Oh, Faz is 2000 FIDE, let's go. Actually, I've got to look this up very, very quick. That's great news. Oh, 1962, so not 2000. What is Safsara yapping about? 1960, but close enough. That is a crazy claim that 1960 is close enough to FIDE. I thought Faz had snuck in with the 2000. The big question is whether Faz gets national master. After the summer tournaments. Yeah, queen f2 forced from Faz, but then later Faz says, by the way, does queen g1, rook takes d3 work? So queen g1, king d2. Rook takes d3, I just thought queen takes. And there's no knight f2 because they can take our queen. So rook takes d3, queen takes. What on earth is the idea? Oh, queen takes d1. Oh, are you kidding me? King, okay, this is what it is. Oh my god, rook takes d3. If queen takes, you just sack the queen with this bloody woodpecker solution, which somehow, after doing 541 exercises of this book, I still don't see this. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just didn't look far enough to spot this. That's very annoying. Okay, in that case then, after rook takes, king can't take because you lose the rook, and if rook takes and they take with the pawn, well, pawn takes is just garbage, but do we actually have a legit follow-up? I mean, at the very least, we can go takes and takes, which looks extremely good. Yeah. Okay, so we had to take with the pawn. I would just take here and be content. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, take on g3, surely. Wow. Yeah, this would have been possible had they checked on f2 first, but now we have this tactic. Yeah, this tactic. Oh, man. It's so annoying. Okay, so it's cool that we spotted queen e3, but rook king e1 is the real crunch time in terms of, like, you know, actually finding the knockout. Like, queen e3 as an idea, it's alright to find, but this is tricky. Is there a problem with taking off the pawn on h2 if rook takes d3? I'm not sure I understand, Simon T. You mean like before queen g1? No, but you have to play queen g1 first. I guess asking whether we can just pick up the pawn on h2. if you're talking about rook takes d3, e takes d3, and only then queen takes h2, then indeed, like this is the best line. Okay, nice. Yeah, let's finish with one final one, and then we'll call it a day. I mean, these exercises have been pretty good, I think. Okay, instinct is just to play bishop f8 and try and checkmate on here. So does this actually work? I'll just quickly calculate it. I mean, if the queen were to take, then this is checkmate. If the rook were to take, this is checkmate. So bishop here, if king takes, is there a follow-up? We've got queen h8 check, which forces bishop g8. And then we can go knight h7 check, where they either have to sack the queen or play king f7. And there we could play e6 check to force the queen sack. So the question is, what is the starting material? There's this dangerous pawn as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they're a pawn up and this pawn is dangerous. So for instance, if we go bishop f8 and they take with the king, we go check and they block, and we go knight h7, we go king f7, they go e6. Maybe they can just sack the queen, because if we take back, then they can promote on c1. So this pawn could be very relevant. So okay, let's not tunnel vision bishop f8 any further and just calculate properly. So okay, we don't have any checks. The only capture is knight takes e6, which of course should be looked at. What about threats? We've got this bishop f8 or bishop g7 to open up the queen and rook battery. Also, I forgot to check if any pieces are loose. This knight is loose. Any x-ray pressure? Okay, there's some x-ray pressure here. X-ray pressure here, but a long way away. But okay, this is kind of relevant. I mean, like, you know, if knight takes, I mean, this could be a very crucial in-between move. So, okay, let's continue with our candidates. So, what about threats? Yeah, so we have the bishop moves. So, okay, let's just start calculating then. So, if knight e6, I really like this queen takes h4 in-betweener. We don't have any in-between checks. And once they take back, yeah, we have no more attack. They can take on e6. So I feel like it has to be a bishop move then. What about bishop g7? If they just take with the queen, I don't think we've got a follow-up. So it has to be bishop f8 then. But bishop f8, king takes. Or also bishop f8, what if they don't do that? What if they just move the queen somewhere? Well, then we've got checkmate, right? So, and they can't move the queen here or here. So bishop f8, they have to take with the king. Now, aside from queen h8, do we have any other candidates? We've got queen h6 check, we've got knight takes e6 check, we've got knight h7 check. So these all must be looked at. So bishop f8, king f8. Let's go through them one by one. So bishop f8, king f8. Queen h8 is the instinct, but let's save that till last. Let's eliminate these other ones. So bishop f8, king f8. If queen h6 check, then queen g7 is my issue. Knight e6, just rook e6. Don't like it. So bishop h6, bishop f8, king f8. If knight takes e6 with check, and then we go queen h8, then they can block queen g8. But then we go queen f6 check, queen f7, rook h8, checkmate. So hold up. Bishop f8, king f8, knight e6, check. If they don't take our knight, we are not even material up because we did just sack the bishop. So we would need to consider king g8 or king f7. If king g8, I don't know. It's or even king f7. I feel like there are too many candidate moves for me to feel so comfortable with this. So okay, we'll leave this in the back burner for now, and let's keep going with the other candidates. So let's try like knight h7. Knight h7. They can go back. Maybe they just go king f7. That probably looks like the safest square. And we can repeat once, but that's probably not ideal. So let me just calculate this one again, because I mean this is really promising. Like bishop h7 is forced. And do we have a better way to attack? Knight h7, king f7 is basically forced. But there's no e6, annoyingly. Oh, man. Okay, so let me look at this knight e6 one more time before we dismiss it. So bishop f8, king f8, knight takes e6 check. If they take with the queen, are we indeed leading to checkmate? We had queen h8 check. They can also run king e7. Rook h7 check, king d8. I feel like they're running. So bishop f8, king f8, queen h8, bishop g8. There must be something I'm missing. What about rook h7? Rook h7, the queen has to find a home. And maybe the queen doesn't have a home, right? So bishop f8, king f8, queen h8, bishop g8, and rook h7. Where does the queen go? If the queen moves to d8, then we just go queen g7 checkmate. So I think that's it. I think rook h7 is the key move. So it's not a check, it's just a quiet move. But it's very strong. So okay, let's go for it. Check, and then rook h7. I think this is the point. Yeah, very nice. Wow, Geller messed up? Yo, that's crazy. Top GMs of the 1960s. I mean, this was actually a fact about Geller. Geller wasn't great at like these attacks, and that's why actually a lot of players would force him to find these attacks and then play against his style, because Geller was one of the best positional players of that time, but he was just bad at attacking. And yeah, that's crazy that knight h7 was played instead. e6, queen e6. Oh, knight g5, king e7. Oh, I missed knight g5. Wow. So maybe I would have got tempted by this had I seen knight g5. Knight e6, bishop e6, queen g7. White is probably winning, but not easy. That's crazy. But yeah, rook h7 is just winning on the spot. But that's actually very shocking that a super GM would miss this. But, you know, I guess it happens, even with strong players nowadays. Let's compare the difference between these two. Oh, rook h7, knight h7 are actually the same strength. I thought rook h7 was just completely crushing. But wow, knight d4 and just sacking the queen like that. But yeah, I mean, we're a queen up. We'll take it. Okay, very nice. So I think a decent sesh. Yeah, Bob is FM but watch currently. I remember seeing like on the Grand Prix that you're FM, so congrats on that. Yeah, glad to see that you're still getting back into the game and playing. Welcome Abir to the stream. Yeah, rook h7, fantastic. Yeah, and rook h7, okay, looks like a lot of you were getting there. And Bob B found the line that Geller found, so also not shameful by any means. But okay, thank you everyone for tuning in, and apologies if I didn't get a chance to shout you out. We actually had a pretty decent turnout today. And yeah, good tactical sesh. So I'm going to quickly grab some lunch before some chess lessons to teach, and I will see you guys all on Wednesday for some more Woodpecker method training. The grind continues. Okay, see you later. Bye.